asked for it, so today on Katie's Take 5 Friday, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 very favorite Game of Thrones moments. Alright, so Game of Thrones is coming back in 2 weeks and I am so excited. Season 5 is gonna hold a lot of crazy things. They've already told us that they're gonna spoil things from the books that aren't even out yet, and they also said that they are going different directions than the book, and so we don't even know what to expect. So today, before Season 5 starts, I wanted to focus on 5 of my very favorite moments. And these are gonna be moments from the show, not the books, because I don't want to spoil the books for anyone who hasn't read them. And make sure you are caught up on the show before you watch this video, because there will be moments from the 4th season, so I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Make sure you're caught up on the show. Alright, so I have a couple of honorable mentions before I get to the top 5, because these didn't fit on my list and I just have to talk about them because they're so great. My first honorable mention is Tywin Lannister's death. We book readers were waiting for this moment. This was definitely one of my favorite moments in the book, and they did such a great job translating it for the screen, and it was just such an awesome moment because we've all been waiting for it, we wanted it, and so that moment is definitely awesome, so it had to be an honorable mention. Second one is also another death. I feel like Game of Thrones big moments all revolve around death, which is sad. But this one was really cool and I think specific to the show. That moment is Oberyn's death when he gets his eyes gouged out and his head bursts open. Oh my gosh. That was such a crazy scene. But unfortunately it didn't make my top 5 list, but obviously it had to be an honorable mention because that scene was crazy. I just remember watching it going. So starting our countdown at number 5 is Tyrion's courtroom scene. That moment for me was so incredible. And it was such a cool scene in the books, but I think when you have such an incredible actor such as Peter Dinklage doing this scene, it was just really awesome to watch. And for me, it was one of my very favorite moments. Tyrion has a ton of great moments and a ton of great lines, but that scene in the courtroom while basically everyone is betraying him and he's getting accused for something he didn't do, like that scene was just incredible and his performance was amazing, and so I loved that. Definitely number 5 on my list. Number 4 is what I like to call Cersei suicide. And I know you guys are like, what the heck are you talking about? Well, one of my very favorite moments was actually from season 2 during the Battle of the Blackwater, and that's a lot of people's very favorite moments was the battle. But for me, Cersei basically thinks that the castle is being taken and she is going to die. So she basically takes Tommen into the throne room and she basically has to decide whether or not she's gonna kill herself and her kid or not do that and possibly have worse happen if her castle is indeed being taken over. But that scene was so cool. I think it was a scene that really showed Cersei's character. Like, she actually contemplated doing this to herself and her kid, and thank goodness Tywin came in to save the day. But still, that scene was pretty crazy, and in the book I remember going like, wait, no, what's going on? But I think they did an awesome job with it in the show, and I absolutely loved that moment because while everyone was fighting and the Battle of Blackwater was so cool, we also had these moments inside the castle with Cersei that was just like, wow. And I love Cersei's character, so for me I was just like, wow, it's so awesome to get a little bit into her head, because when you read the books you actually are in the characters' heads, and on the show it's a little harder for them to portray that, so I loved that moment. I thought that was so cool. Number 3, the purple wedding. Joffrey finally got what was coming to him and what he deserved, because we were all waiting for that, and that moment was so awesome. A lot of us knew that moment was coming, but they certainly delivered on it, and it was even kind of bigger and better than I could have ever imagined, and watching it is just so different than reading it. So that scene to me was so cool. That's just one of those moments that as a fan, we all are just like, come on, Joffrey has to die. His evil little stupid kid like just needs to die. And that's what's amazing about Game of Thrones, because they could make you actually hate a child and want to see them die, and not feel bad about it. And I did not feel bad that Joffrey died, because he deserved it, and we all needed that. All right, number 2 is such a sad scene, and the book readers knew it was coming, but at the same time, watching it is so different. And that scene is the Red Wedding. And you guys are probably thinking, why isn't that number one? Because the Red Wedding was such an epic scene. And one of the best moments in the show and the book. It was just so sad. I mean, you really just feel for those characters. Unlike watching Joffrey die, you're just like, yeah, go ahead, you deserve it, haha. It was really, really hard to watch Catelyn and Robb. Ugh. It was just so sad. And that scene is just such a big scene. And gosh, and even afterward with Arya going in and almost, she was so close, and it was just so sad. And they killed the direwolf, and that whole scene is just depressing, but such a well done scene. It just tugs at your heartstrings, not Robb, not Catelyn. So for me, that moment was such a great moment, even though it was really sad. It still was an amazing moment and such a huge turning point for the series as a whole. George just likes to mess with us. I seriously think that he just sits there and just goes, I'm gonna get him again, I'm gonna get him again, and just messing with us. Gosh, makes me so mad. I'm mad at him because I feel like he's just toying with us. So I know for a lot of you, Red Wedding probably would be your number one moment, but for me, my number one favorite moment from the Game of Thrones show has to be Dany rising from the flames with the dragons. That scene, that moment, I could literally watch that moment over and over again. I sometimes rewatch that episode just because it was such an amazing episode. I can imagine that the people who just watched the show were like, oh my gosh, no, you can't kill her off because she's so amazing. And honestly, just the start for Daenerys as a character, and God, it's just such a cool scene, and I love watching it, and the way they did it was just so amazing. You just watch her walk into the flames, and then the flames die down, and it's the next morning, and Jorah is heartbroken, but then sees her. Like, that is so cool. That scene to me was just so cool. It was so well done. I loved it. So obviously had to be my number one favorite moment, but I wanna know from you, what is your very favorite Game of Thrones moment? Please don't leave any book spoilers, because I want the TV show watchers to be able to participate. But if you have a moment that I didn't mention, I'm really curious to hear it. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you click that button right there to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. And like Game of Thrones? Well, me too, and I talk about it a lot. So click right here to check out more of my Game of Thrones videos.